Alright my lovelies, if you've been keeping an eye on the news over the past 24 hours, you'll have seen the announcement from Blizzard on the new skill system. Gone are the old 5 runes that we used to have, if you'll remember those: Crimson, Indigo, Obsidian, Golden and Alabaster. And even though that final version of that system was never fully revealed to us, it was beginning to shape up to be quite convoluted. Fast forward to patch 13. Runes are still in, and each skill eventually gets access to 5 runes, and as before, each skill can only have 1 rune applied to it. And here you see the new skill interface. It's set out the same for each class. It's set into 6 categories, the first 3 of which are identical for all classes. You have your primary attack, which is your frequently used attack, which usually generates resources such as mana and arcane power. Then you have your secondary attack, which is usually more powerful attacks, which will cost a fair chunk of that resource and usually have cooldowns. And the defensive, which is usually something to escape your enemies or control the flow of combat. The other 3 categories are all unique for each of the classes. When you start, your primary category is already unlocked, and the other 5 will become available at 2, 4, 9, 14 and 19. As you can see from my Witch Doctor here, we start with Poison Dart. At character level 9 I'll gain access to Haunt, and at 11 Firebomb. But for now, at character level 2 I only have access to Poison Dart. As you can see, my secondary category is now available. But the only skill I can assign as my secondary is Grasp of Dead. But at levels 3, 5, 12 and 20 I'll have access to other secondary skills, but for now it will have to be Grasp of Dead, and that will be assigned to my right mouse button automatically. Now at level 3 you can see Corpse Spiders become available, but I don't particularly want that because I like Grasp of Dead. When hitting level 4, my Witch Doctor's defensive category opens and I can take Zombie Dogs, which is automatically mapped to my number 1 key. And at character level 6 is where things start to get interesting as runes become available. As I said before, there's only 5 runes available for each skill, but there's only 1 rune available to me at the moment, and that's Splinters, so I'll take that one. There is a cooldown when swapping skills, and that used to be 30 seconds, but in patch 13 it's been reduced to 15. There's more choices now. Here I can start to change Grasp of Dead with this rune, which will increase damage from 40% to 73% weapon damage, and so it's now called Groping Eels. At level 8, Corpse Spiders can be changed into Leaping Spiders with a rune. At level 9 I take Horrify, and that's automatically assigned to my number 2 key. At level 11, Firebomb becomes available in my primary attack category, but I want to keep Poison Dart as my primary attack on my left mouse button and put Firebomb onto my number 2 key where Horrify currently is. So to be able to assign skills to the keys you want to, you need to enable what's now called Elective Mode. This is basically putting it back how it used to be. Put skills to whatever keys you want. So you go to Options, Gameplay, and just check the Elective Mode box here, and you're all set. Now back to the skills and into my Terror category. Use the arrows at the top here to navigate through the 6 categories. Here's the primary category with Firebomb. So I click that to select it, and it's now my number 2 key. But it sits under my Terror category, which is a tad confusing as Firebomb is actually under my primary tab. For such a long time now, Blizzard have been telling us how Diablo 3 needs to be grandma proof, so I was a little surprised to see this ham-fisted attempt at skill management. Of course I'll get used to it and we'll all get to grips with it, but it's by no means intuitive in default or elective mode, and it most definitely won't please grandma. There's been mixed reactions to it, I'd say leaning towards the negative, but that's usually the case with change. I think at this late stage in development the community is going to have to accept it as it is and learn to live with it. The passive menu, on the other hand, is a doddle. You'll have a choice of 3 ultimately. The first becomes available at level 10, then another one at 20 and 30, and you can peruse all the passive skills before they become available. So that's my little walkthrough on the new skill interface. Beta testers probably by now will have some idea if they're going to like this or not. The rest of you unfortunately are going to have to wait for release. In the meantime, you can catch us on diablo.incgamers.com, where we keep the news up to date every day. We're also on Facebook and you can follow us on Twitter. But for now, bye!